So I'm Chris Carlson. I'm a ranger here at Philmont Scout Ranch. Right now we're here at Abreu, which is staff camp back in the backcountry. But I'm going to tell you about a little bit my experience.
And I'll say New Mexico.
Oh, okay.
Right. Good. It's
Start
all good.
over?
No, it's good. It's all good.
Okay. Philmont Scout Ranch, New Mexico. So I'm here at Abreu, staff camp in the backcountry. I'm going to tell you about my experience with the fire last summer, the Ute Park fire. So I was on a training trip with my crew, my training crew of other rangers. We were out in the backcountry. We were on our way there. We stopped at like a little scenic overlook, and we saw a few fire tankers go over. And I was like, I'm into planes, so like, yeah, it's some fire tankers. Look around. I don't see any smoke, so I'm like, okay, they must be doing some training. A few hours later, we're at camp setting up. Then we see a cloud. We're like, that's a big cloud. I hope that's not a fire. Don't think it is. Goes on. And then someone runs up to us like, yo, that cloud is now orange. It is twice the size it was earlier. So like, okay, that's a fire. So me, a couple other rangers, we see a rage and grab our phones and just like start sprinting up with the compass. Get up there, we shoot a bearing at it to get so we can call in and tell them where it is. So we call logistics, inform of the fire where it is from us, and then they're like, all right, you're safe to stay there for the night. Right now it's only a few hundred acres, maybe 1,000.
We should say this is a huge Philmont property and adjoining things.
Yeah.
250,000 acres,
Yeah.
kind of big area.
Yeah, so like we own 140,000, we use 250,000 acres. So when they're saying it's 1,000 acres max, we're like, all right, that's not a big deal. And it's a long way from you. You're fine. It's 90% contained. So they're like, all right, keep your phone on. If we can call you in the morning if we need to, we'll let you know. So we do our thing for the rest of the night. We wake up in the morning. It was actually like one of the best sunrises I've ever seen, just from all the smoke in the sky. But at the time, I didn't see the smoke. It was just hazy. And we start tearing down camp, and all of a sudden, someone comes running up, like, hey, evacuate now. The fire's now 0% contained, 16,000 acres, and growing at 1,000 acres an hour. And we're like, oh, crap. All right. So we just like throw on our packs, because we were pretty much already done packing anyway, and hit the road, get to a bus stop. We get to the bus stop.
And so does people understand? So this is a network of trails all around, and you guys have areas where people can get dropped off. So that's where you're going to.
We call them turnarounds or trailheads. It's where like a bus will drop scouts off. So we all go there. A bunch of different crews are like meeting up at this one spot. So now it's probably 40, 50 of us all there. We wait for an hour for a bus to show up because, you know, emergencies and timeliness. But eventually the buses get there, and we're watching it as we drive up to base camp. We didn't know exactly where the fire was in relation to base camp, so I had my laptop in my tent at base, and I did text my parents, ask them to buy AppleCare for me. They didn't. But I was like, just in case. We got to base camp though.
And base camp is in the south.
Yes, it's in the south. It wasn't in the fire, but it was in the direction that it was blowing, so there was a big concern for that. But when we got there, they're like, all right, before you all go to your tents and stuff, we're letting you know, check in with your boss, or sorry, we call them ranger trainers or RTs, every 30 minutes, let them know where you are, so they can update you if they need to. Then they're saying, if we need to pack, or so like slowly start packing your stuff ready, or to get ready if you need to go, just the essentials. Most of us brought pretty much everything we brought to summer, or brought workout here. Got that all packed up. And then a few hours later, so probably about noonish, our general manager, Robert Hoyt, comes up, informed us of the situation. They're like, all right, look over there. Yeah, that's the fire. It is coming closer to us and closer to us. So at this point, we're gonna start a full evacuation of everyone on Philmont property. We're heading over to the Springer Fairgrounds, where it's Colfax County Fairgrounds in Springer, New Mexico. It's about an hour drive from here. So we're like, all right.
And how many people? So it's not open up for Boy Scouts yet. I mean, no. It's not for the main summer thing. So how many people all told are probably in Philmont when that happens?
So right now it's probably about 1,100 to 1,200 staff. So quite a few people. A lot of us drove our own cars. So there's quite a few cars we were moving at the same time. So like, all right, load up into cars. If you don't have a car, there's buses for you. So go where you are, let your boss know where you're going. So I grabbed my stuff, go to someone's truck. I had like 6 people loaded into a short cab Tacoma, not comfortable, but I got the job done. And when we were trying to leave, they were recording like everyone's license plate. We all have Philmont tags, everyone's Philmont tag number, every employee in the car, what training crew they're in, where they're going, how much gas do you have in your car right there, all this crazy stuff. So we sat in the parking lot for probably another hour and a half because, again, timelessness in these evacuations. We made it through like the whole process, but eventually there was one point where like some employee in their car driving was like, "Yo, you guys are dumb. There's a fire right there. I'm going." And so they're like, "Yeah, you're probably right." And they're like, "Everyone get out. We'll make sure everyone's there once we get there right now, because we just got to get you out of the parking lot." So we caravanned a few hundred cars and buses down this road. So like, I look behind me, there's miles of cars. We get there, we set up about 600 tents in about 45 minutes because we're rangers and we're good at that. Yeah,
Ranger magic.
Yeah, as soon as we get there, they kept informing us of the fire and everything that was happening, and they gave us updates that it was still growing. We were like 23,000, 25,000 acres.
And he said a few people stayed, a few of the conservation crews or whatever stayed to fight or help fight.
Yeah, so we had like the top employees, so like the general managers, the ranching managers, and camping managers were staying because they were working with the National Guard and Incident Command for Forestry Services to both send our fire department and their fire department and National Guard to organize them around the ranch. And fun fact, we actually had prisoners from the Springer Correctional Facility working with us because, I don't know, it's one of those things where if you do good for this community, shorten your sentence kind of thing. So they were actually here working for us. But when we were at the fairgrounds, we spent a few days there. The governor of New Mexico came in on a helicopter just to like see what was going on, because Philmont is pretty much the only revenue source for this area of the state. So when something like that happens, you're like, oh crap, oh, this is a problem. So she came in, talked to us, left. I never saw her. I'm not important enough to really see her. But she left, and then eventually we got the okay. I mean, we kept getting updates like, all right, the fire is this % contained. It kept increasing. So they sent us back to base camp. Let us know, they're like, all right, so final fire size was 36,000 acres, about 20.
And how long did it burn for?
3 days, I believe.
Okay.
3 or 4 days of burning. And then we got back, and it was about like 25,000 acres on property that burned straight through the center of our property, so kind of cut it in half. And they're explaining, like, so this is what we believe caused it. It might have been a house, it might have been lightning, we're not 100% sure. But
a house?
Yeah, so that was one of the first rumors that kind of spread, but then people were like, maybe it's not a house because wasn't too big of an investigation, so maybe it's lightning. We've never gotten an answer, so we really don't know. But they did tell us, like, so this is why the fire got so bad. Essentially, we suck at Forest Service and like management. We're not good at fire ecology. We didn't know what we were supposed to be doing until it's too late. We had not had any fires come through here in probably 60 or 70 years in that area. And then like proper fire ecology, you want one every like 7 to 15 years or so to burn up all that undergrowth, burn up all the dead foliage.
So like right here. So we're at this camp right now in the south part of the Philmont, and it's got a lot of stuff that hasn't burned in some time.
Yeah. So we don't want any of this to be here. Essentially one is just like the big ponderosa pines, like the one in front of you now.
Right.
Those are what we want. Those are generally the last thing that'll go up in a fire, just because of how dense they are and how their bark is layered. But when you don't have any fires, we have juniper trees, which are invasive and a ladder fuel. So they got big enough that they lit all the ponderosas on fire in the area. So there was no saving that area for us. And Incident Command told us if the fire got blown south enough to what we call Tooth Ridge, it's just a very predominant landmark on the property. They were going to pull all the fire department out, all the troops out, send them to the southern border of our property, and start a prescribed burn to meet it in the middle. There was going to be no stopping a fire once it hit that ridge and kept coming south to where we are now. So they told us, like, we're going to burn the rest of Philmont to save Philmont.
Do you see the map?
I think Jacob is
Map.
Yeah, let's look at the map. Keep talking.
Alrighty.
Let me just
So
look like this.
what they were saying, this